ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your EU Challenger Cup Open Bracket Grand Finals for the last time in 2015. Next week, of course, we go into our round robin phases. Once again, I am Ranconis, joining me is Shadow Boy, but Shadow Boy, look at the teams here. These are the underdogs.
I mean, yeah, we didn't expect to see either of these teams in the finals. We kind of expected to see, realistically speaking, one of the top three teams at the very least. But instead, it was both of the lower bracketed seed teams. Let me go ahead and pull up the rankings here. So yeah, Perpetuum was 6th and Angry Pikachu's 8th, both in the finals.
Yeah, that's just absolutely phenomenal. Team 6 and Teams 8 getting to the finals where they had to fight their way through other teams. Instinct for Angry Pikachu's seed number 1. Perpetuum had to fight their way through, respectively, Team Bazaar at seed number 3 in the round of 8, then VWS Gaming in the seed 2 slot in the semi-finals. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be getting into our God Select in just a few moments. Just a few remake issues, so just sorting that one out now and we'll be in. But I tell you what, this is not the matchup we expected to see. But can Perpetuum redraft what they just drafted?
I don't know. Angry Pikachu's probably should have watched last game just to make sure that they knew what potential risk they were going up against. And if they did, they probably will ban out Zeus, which kind of eliminates the entirety of their plan. You can't exactly get the same results out of most other bursty mages. So, I mean, I guess your options of mages that have the same potential damage would be Hebo. I mean, realistically speaking, there's not that many.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a long split for these guys. They're getting towards the end of that, and it's starting to get to those crunch moments. And apparently, well, only a couple teams were able to pull it out in those crunch moments. And here they are. So it's going to be an interesting bracket for certain next week, Shadow Boy.
Yeah, I mean, next week is going to be completely tossed up, and with us seeing how well Perpetuum and the Angry Pikachu's can play, and even some of the other teams that are, lower on the seed list as of last week, that's obviously going to get shaken up this week. But, taking a look at all these teams, I think that all these guys have shown that they can do pretty well at any given moment.
Yeah, well, ladies and gentlemen, whilst we do continue to try and get these games on the road, don't forget to jump on Twitter. Let us know what you think. Who is going to take the last open bracket match out? We've got a best of 3 here for you in front of us. It's going to be Angry Pikachu's versus Perpetuum. Perpetuum with a phenomenal draft last game. Would have been scouted out. Angry Pikachu's got a chance. Angry Pikachu is playing solidly on a number of different comps from what we heard earlier in the brackets. We did see one of their first games, so they're looking good. What do you guys think? Tweet us at TierMonster. Maybe tag Shadowboy or myself, Shadowboy Gaming, Rainconius. Those are our Twitter tags. You can tweet at us. Let us know what your thoughts are. Tweet at us. Let us know what you think of our casting, what you think of the entire broadcast. Maybe you think you can do it a bit better. You got some tips for us. We'll take all of that stuff and we'll incorporate it next week in the round robin phase.
Or you can sign up for the Zeus hype train.
Okay, no, I'm not allowing you to continue selling tickets for the Zeus hype train, but ladies and gentlemen, God Select is back underway, so you'll start seeing picks up on your screen in the interim in a very short time. Let's talk about how these teams got here thus far in the point scenarios as well. Perpetuum, in their first week, finished in the round of 16, only in the top 16 teams, not in the top 8. Then they finished top 8 2 weeks running in weeks 2 and 3, finally running it out with a 4th place finish. That will not, 3rd place finish. That will not be the case today. They'll either finish 1st or 2nd, so they've improved the way they've gone on.
And I think that just based off of today, the Angry Pikachu's have shown something that I've been wanting to ask about. Has the Angry Pikachu's been very consistent in the last couple of weeks?
Angry Pikachu's, they've kind of been a little bit up and down. Their first couple of weeks were well outside anything that you really expected at top teams. that they potentially could be able to do. Picking up only 2 points in the first 2 weeks means they finished in the round of 32, so they were somewhere between 32nd and 16th. That's horrible. That's an absolute terrible finish. What got them into the position that they're currently doing is the last 2 weeks and today. Third place finish 2 weeks ago in week number 3, and a top 8 finish in last week's matches, here making it all the way to the grand final. Closing it out in those closing stages was what it was all about, but that's all you got to do is finish when it matters.
But yeah, if we're gonna go ahead and start up on these picks and bans, I'm really excited to see how things go. I mean, we've already got Hell, Summer Kong banned out on the side of Angry Pikachu's, and Perpetuum, of course, banning out Zeus and Kwang. Really surprised to see that they banned out their own, I guess, favorite pick, but makes sense at the same time. I don't want to give that one over. And Perpetuum sitting on Khepri and Serket, so putting a lot of value onto Khepri and giving Tiki a different jungler just to see if he might be a little bit more comfortable in the I'm the damage dealer role. Meanwhile, Angry Pikachu's Janice, Thor, and Sylvanas thus far, all of which are strong characters.
Yeah, and I mean, last game we mentioned quite a number of times, Thor was really important to that comp, not for his damage, but for his setup ability. He was, and I mean, Zeus and Thor were the linchpins. They needed something from the jungle to really round out their comp well. Thor fit that role phenomenally, and that's what was needed from the comp. He wasn't a linchpin in his damage and whatnot. Then Zeus became the in-game linchpin. That's how that one played out. Yana's going to be picked up. Thor and Sylvanas so far for the Angry Pikachu's. Perpetuum, I'm looking at a Khepri, I'm looking at a Serket, I'm looking at an Isis, I'm looking at a very similar comp thus far with a little bit more CC from the mid laner. In fact, their AD carry is identical. Aphrodite banned away from them by the Angry Pikachu's. Such smart drafting from those guys. And I like the Zeus ban as well, personally, just to push this on just a little bit further. We actually see Titan currently playing it on Smite Game 1 in the solo lane. So it is top tier. 100% top tier. So you'll be seeing a lot of it.
Meanwhile, Angry Pikachu deciding on their first pick after the next ban phase. They're highlighting a couple of different things, and not sure if they're wanting any of them guaranteed. However, the one that I'm really interested in is this highlight for what I believe is Soul Lane. Yes, it's going to be Fenrir, and Shablanke locked in for the AD carry role. So that is a very bursty Soul Laner that I personally love. I personally love Fenrir in the Soul. He's one of my favorites. He does a great job at what he does, which is bully out certain matchups and then convert that over into a lot of damage into the enemy jungle, stealing camps, harassing the enemy jungler with a combined effort of your jungler and mid laner, depending on how the mid lane matchup is going, is probably the best way to utilize this Fenrir. So curious to see if Angry Pikachu is going to have the same mentality. Meanwhile, Perpetuum locking in the Hercules, really respecting the retro Hercules skin here. It brings back some nostalgic memories, but nonetheless, I think that these are two very standard team compositions. I mean, you look at them, you've got a lot of global presence on Angry Pikachu's, a lot of harass potential in the jungle in the mid game especially, and then it converts over into a really heavy front line. Fenrir, of course, is probably going to start building defensively after the second item. So usually it goes Bluestone into Warrior Tabi into Jotun's Wrath into defense from there, but it also could be the route of auto attack focus, which I doubt just because he's going up against a Hercules. So he's probably going to go into the Mystical Mail or something along those lines later on in the game. Thor, of course, is going to build defensively after a certain point as well. And then, of course, you've got Sylvanas leaving Shablanke and Janice to do whatever they please.
Yeah, I really like the Sylvanas and the Giannis combo coming through. We all know that Sylvanas is incredibly immobile, one of the lower move speeds, but then he's got no engage, right? He's forced to pick up a blink. Giannis helps that. Giannis helps him get in, Giannis helps him get out. It's fantastic. I really like that combo working together. Here, last pick coming through was the Hercules. Really good idea. They're like, alright, we need something that's going to be able to deal with a Fenrir and provides us beefiness, provides us a little bit of engage, gives us that little bit of something. It fits perfectly with an Isis. Pluck back into, a Circle Protections, a Spirit Ball, and Abduct, I believe the Capri Dash grab is. So it's a phenomenal sort of setup and photo comp, and it just deals with the Fenrir phenomenally, right? I actually expect Fenrir for Angry Pikachus to be going, excuse me, a more defensive build route, just because he can't win that late. He can get one kill, but that's after that point, it's kind of like, well, not really. I guess if Thor comes, there's a little bit of kill potential, but after that, it's nothing major, and that's what worries me.
I think that the kill potential for the Soul Lane is going to completely depend on what Hercules builds first. If Hercules goes the route that we saw out of the Summocon a couple of games ago, where it was, or no, it wasn't it was one of the bruisers that you were expecting a mystical mail on. You'll have to help me on that one if you remember. But if Hercules starts the steel mail start, he's fine. He's not going to clear well in comparison to Fenrir, who's probably going to have the blue stone unless he himself wants to go the bruiser route, which would be really, really weird in my opinion. But if he does go the steel mail route, kill potential virtually gone. It'll just be kind of a wash lane for the rest of the time. But if he does go the bluestone route, where he wants to try and clear, he's going to have to try and be a little bit aggressive on the Fenrir if possible, just because that bluestone route is not going to help you in the Fenrir 1v1 matchup. In fact, Fenrir typically would win that matchup under certain circumstances. So usually as a Fenrir, after the dash is gone on Hercules and you might have taken a little bit of damage, you go for the stun with your jump, and then you go into your Ragnarok and you take Hercules for a ride into your wave. And just in those two alone, you're looking at like 40% to 50% of Hercules' health gone, not including any auto attacks that might be amplified by Hal, might not, depends on what priorities he puts on his ability points. But you know, it's one giant question mark of skill and understanding of each individual characters. I'm not sure how Revel understands the matchup, and I'm not sure how Lace understands the matchup in the solo lane as a Fenrir versus Hercules.
And I mean, this is a matchup as well that's not been all that particularly, excuse me, popular of late either. You haven't seen a lot of Hercules. You haven't seen a lot of Fenrir. You've seen odd occasional pickups for specific comps, but it's not like this matchup they're going to know the be-all and end-all of this beats this at this specific time, and this is what my goals are in farm and experience and things like that. It's not like that in any way, shape, or form. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch, and I think we'll have to keep our eyes on it. Yeah, Fenrir can win out early. Fenrir can win out all lanes early. That's just what he's good at. Lace, we did see get fed very, very early for Angry Pikachus in their game against the Arons. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to do it. Let's get into game number 1 of our best of 3s, and Shadow Boy, why don't you take us down the first roster?
Angry Pikachu's over in the blue jerseys. The Bushy playing Shablanke in the AD carry role. Darzer in the middle lane as Jonas. Big Man Tings in the support role as Sylvanas. Lace playing a very aggressive Fenrir solo. And the Pikachu playing from the jungle as Thor.
Okay, you said very aggressive. This is a very aggressive Fenrir. He's picked up a red pot. Before we go down the chaos side of things, that is a red pot 5 potion bluestone start pen Fenrir.
Oh my 5-man rotation,
he is
Jesus.
Going for it, and this might play
It's pinged
into
out.
Angry Pikachu's hands if Perpetuum do run into this as a 5-man. They can potentially look for some shenanigans here.
Yeah, it was pinged out. They're not going to be able to do anything from here. Capri does have the pull, I'm assuming, or at least might have it. But I think overall it was just a ward trip. If you got a pick, that was great. If not, that's fine. But they did utilize it as a ward trip. Angry Pikachu's was able to sniff it out. But yeah, going back over to the Soul Lane, that is hyper aggressive. Usually you try to go for the bluestone, maybe an active, but boots is more common, like level 1 boots, just to have that movement speed. So after all of your burst damage, you can just keep up with them and keep auto attacking with a howled auto attack. So that's typically how it's played out. But with this start, you have no blue pots, so any mana you lose, that's gone. That's a done deal. And I love that he started with jump. Jump is the highest damage dealing ability for Fenrir, assuming no interrupts. And you will always get interrupted, children. If you play Fenrir, you will get interrupted. Do not max brutalize. That's my spiel for the day.
Yeah, do not ever expect to get a full channel brutalize off. That's something to keep in the back of your mind. Well, aggression. I wouldn't be surprised to see Thor over towards the right hand side of things early on. Pikachu's. He's the Thunder Hammer God. He might be looking for a little bit of Thunder Shock. But it's actually, have a look at things, it's going to be this Cat and the Ice is picking up the right-hand side mid camp. And I think that's down to the mid lane matchup more than anything.
And over in the solo lane, Hercules is already at 30-40% health. So that's fun. A little bit of an awkward exchange going on over in the solo lane there. A bit of a, I guess, a glitch issue. He did knock up Fenrir.
Oh, Fenrir under the tower. Revo with the plug. The interrupt of the jump. Saw him landing, plucks him back, knocks him on the tower, kills the red pot, kills the mana potion. Instant TP buy from Lace. He is heavily behind already.
Yeah, that actually might be the lane lost completely for Fenrir now, because he lost the red pot, so that's 450 gold just essentially wasted. And on top of that, Hercules got first blood and first blood experience, so that's a lot of advantage to swing over in his favor. But over in the dual lane, little bit of a dance-off going between the jungler duo from Perpetuum and just the dual lane from Angry Pikachu's.
Yeah, and the reason for this coming through is that Big Man Tings is on the Sylvanas. They've got the pressure on the side of Angry Pikachu's. Where it needs to come from, Perpetuum, they need to get in on that left-hand side, stun in the mid lane. They're looking at focusing out Pikachu. Great portal through. Tiki is getting focused out. Is he going to go on tilt again? Stealth up. First blood. Sorry, no. Second blood goes in favor of Pikachu's, and Angry Pikachu's are going to grab something back over Perpetuum.
Oh, but over in the solo lane, Hercules is reaching close to that level 5 point. If he lands any more CC, I have been in that situation. Dodging those Earthbreakers is not fun. But yeah, if he lands any more CC, this Fenrir is essentially dead, just because the combination from the knock-up into the dash into the boulder is a bit too much to handle for any assassin class.
And I think if you're going to invest in something so heavily aggressive, look at Pikachu though. He's lurking on the right-hand side of things. He was sitting in the back of the Fire Giant pit, just in range.
Oh, here it comes!
Might go in, pluck. Lace is in trouble. The auto attack to come through from Revel. I wonder if that Thor ultimate has been casted. Indeed has. He went down mid lane looking for the kill. Pressure on towards Angry Day. Will be picked up. Pikachu gets himself a kill, so it's going to be 2 kills on the solo lane to Hercules, and now he's going to rotate.
Yeah, and the one benefit that I guess you can say you have as Angry Pikachu's is that Hercules is going to fall off in terms of damage, so you can kind of place your hat on that bid, but the problem is that your Fenrir is not going to do that much better. The only benefit he's going to have over Hercules is that he has a hard displacement ability that demands and requires beads, whereas Hercules is just going to be looking to try and land that skill shot of Earthbreaker and hope for the best. But over in the dual lane, pretty quiet so far. We're going to see Shablanque and Sylvanas go back over to their purple buff. 2-2, gold in favor of Perpetuum just by a little bit, but mind you, there's a 450 gold deficit that's not being accounted for because of the red pot that was wasted essentially by Fenrir, which we're going to see a lot of swing over in the solo lane because of that.
He's going to be... the problem with Fenrir in the solo lane, right? He just... his clear risks some of his aggression and risks some of his escapability as well. So when Fenrir wants to go in, wants to clear out the wave, wants to trade, all of those things, or even just wants to get away, he's burned all that on clear. So Revel is in the position to deny Lace so heavily. I would actually expect... I really want Lace to rotate and get something to happen in the mid lane, because that's all he's going to get for a long period of this game.
Yeah, the unfortunate bit for him is that he's put himself in a position where he can't really contribute that much. Usually you try to land the jump on top of the back harpy or back minions as well as the enemy god, just for good measure, because you get the damage off to them as well as clear the wave. So a little bit too late for that now, so his best bet is to just build defensively as soon as he can and then go from there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the option he does have, is fall behind, build defensively. But for now, he can't just go anywhere near this minion wave. Revel's got him on lock. Warrior Tarbai finish. He'll go a defensive build at him next. He's just letting the wave push up. The Archer's shoving that one quite effectively, and Lace is just relegated to watching these minions die. Nothing he can do. Interesting to see if Pikachu might focus over here. Do you expect it?
No, I think at that point you just leave that lane alone. You say, all right, Fenrir, farm as best you can. We need you for late game to pluck the Isis, Yi, Serket if you get lucky enough, and then we can make a fight out of that. Or in the event that we're trying to secure an objective, do the traditional Fenrir. I'm going to take the person threatening the Gold Fury the most and just move them away. It used to be a lot more effective when Hog was still used for objective secure, but now not so much.
Pikachu just gets caught by a Spirit Ball on the left-hand side of the mid lane, hovering around that Gold Fury. This is their chance to get Lace back in the game more than anything. Because, like, look at Revel. He's just auto-attacking the wave. He's not driving strike. Oh, okay, he's driving. As soon as I say that.
No, he's not on a strike. It didn't happen. Didn't happen. Continue.
But he was actually just zoning him. So, Lace is kind of just like, I'm in trouble. Look at the Shibalonke ultimate coming out. They're looking to get into the jungle here. The ultimates are going to land. Angry Day QQ was the focus, and they pick him out. Pikachu finds another one.
Yeah, and this is the beautiful thing about Angry Pikachu's right now is that even though Fenrir is, for lack of better terms, doing awful in the lane, he's not having a good time at all.
There is no better term for it. He is just doing awful.
His entire team is doing fantastically, so they're utilizing the global presence and they're making a lot of plays from that. But here comes the Ragnarok used, and Boulder, that's going to be a kill on the Lace. Don't know why he necessarily went aggressive there, but I think he learned his lesson. Okay, Hercules is actually extremely far ahead of me.
He went aggressive there. The only reason he used Ragnarok because he was about to get Earthbreaking back into Revel. So he was just like, I have to Ragnarok. Wanted to get some use out of Ragnarok. And Revel's just like, yeah. And the worst part, he just based and just TP'd back into that. So Revel denies 1, now 2 waves of minions and XP. Lace is 2 levels behind. He's I hate to use the term screwed, but he is screwed. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why you do not buy a Bluestone pendant and a red pot on Fenrir.
One of the other, maybe. But I think I was okay with the idea of the Bluestone, not the red pot. The red pot lost me. The red pot lost me. But yeah, no, he's done for. This is one of those situations where you just go ahead and say, all right, I just got to farm, like take the safest routes, forfeit farm that you have to because you have to. Unfortunately, you're not denying Hercules any farm at all. You're just basically gonna have to say, all right, well, this is how much gold the gracious Hercules has allowed me, and as the gracious Hercules has left the lane, Fenrir is going to take this opportunity to clear out the wave.
Dude, take a look at the difference in gold between just those two people. 1,000 gold is the differential.
The only death on the side of Angry Pikachu's is Fenrir. I don't think I can put that any other way. The only deaths for Angry Pikachu.
And now Revel's decided that, hey, putting the dog down wasn't enough. He wanted to rotate around and find the man with the hammer and give him a hammering. Didn't quite slam the ground back up enough. Lace is just like, I know you're somewhere near this lane, and I can't get anywhere near. This is how dire. This is hilarious, actually. Lace is getting a bad case of his own worst medicine. Don't buy red pot. Don't. With a combination of a Bluestone pin. If you're gonna buy red pot, go into the jungle and buy a Boomba's Mask. That's my only thinking, but you've got...
my only opinion is if you're going to buy red pot, don't look for the kill opportunity on Hercules because you could easily get punished. Look for an early rotation on the mid lane when no one expects... No one's going to expect Fenrir coming out of the jungle at, like, say, right after you come into lane, and you expect the jungler, okay? So you expect the jungler to come in. Like, say, for example, after the jungler came in and, you know, he kind of started to walk back. Okay, now all of a sudden Fenrir is here for the mid camps too. And you don't expect that, especially if he comes in from the back with a flank. All of a sudden, you now have a 3 versus 2 scenario where one of them have a stun and a lot of damage. And against the Serket Isis, it's not unreasonable to think that you can pull off a kill there. So I think I would have preferred that over you trying to box with the Hercules, getting punished
it's
since under tower.
Hercules, for God's sake. What are you going to do? If you do not kill him in the first 3 levels, he's just like, mitigate wounds.
Lol, I'm Hercules.
What happened? What's this damage thing? I've got this health bar that just filled back up again. What's that? And you know, he just laughs at you. And I know we're picking on Lace, and I actually feel a little bit of remorse for the guy because I would not be wanting to sit in these shoes right now. But you started this, Lace.
When I play Fenrir, that doesn't happen, so I don't feel too bad.
He brought this on himself.
I am completely kidding. But no, all in all, it happens. You have your solo lane matchups where sometimes you get bullied out. Of course, you know, in the scenario where it's you versus another person, anytime you fall behind, it takes huge swing plays just to be able to come back into that 1v1 matchup. So yes, in the solo lane matchup like this, you're not going to be able to come back easily, and you're probably not going to be able to come back at all. Hercules is just more than likely going to be permanently ahead of you.
Oh, Revel's back in the lane, and Lace just used his jump. Good thing he had Raptor. Oh man, oh, it's just hilarious to watch this. But have a look towards the mid lane. So Cat's actually going to go diving on towards Tiki, who gets knocked up, pulled away, but Pikachu's finally been knocked down. Capri ultimate to keep Tiki alive, and he's not going to drop it at any stage. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know what I see? Revel's taking a blue buff. He does not give a single care to where
a single shenanigan, yes.
No, a single shenanigan. He secures that buff up. Big N-Tings is in. He's just like, hi, have you come to feed me more? More, sir. Please, sir. I want some more.
I don't think that they're going to be able to do anything to this. Yeah, he's actually just laughing. This is the actual scary part of Hercules, and actually because of that heavy rotation, Perpetuum able to get the Gold Fury, so that's a big objective for them. Shablanke, however, was at least able to get a kill, so that's going to be a stack on his passive for him. Something desperately needed by Angry Pikachu to keep themselves relevant in this game, because as great as Thor was in the beginning stage of the game, he's kind of fallen a little quiet for the last like 4 minutes or so.
Alright, time to start turning things around. Right, so we've walked over and over and over. That matchup is on the right-hand side of things. Now,
Thor in the air on the dual lane. He's going to come down on the tower, and that's going to be the double tap for the kill. Pikachu proving me wrong when I said he was quiet for the last 4 minutes and say, "Excuse me, Shadow Boy, I am still here."
Excuse me, step off. This is my territory, boy. I'm going to slam my hammer down, and I'm going to prove you wrong. Did so on the left-hand side of things.
9 out of 10 for the country accent.
Thank you, sir.
From a person who lives in Kentucky, very close to the Tennessee borderline, 9 out of 10 for the Kentucky, or for the country accent.
That's what you get. When you come to Challenger Cup, you get amateur accents. Tiki's going to jump in, looking at Bushy here. Is he able to get the focus? The last press down. He's not going to sustain, but Pikachu! Goodbye, Sir Thundershock. Now the poison starts to spread, and this is where they run into problems. Dargius has the ultimate, not going to live much longer after the reset on that one. Daz is just like, yep, claiming myself a kill. And they walk away, all things considered, but they might look for.
They weren't able to walk away. Thor was looking for the chance to use his Mule to get out, and unfortunately wasn't able to do so. However, Janice and Sylvanas should be able to escape pretty freely. But Janice coming in with that free space and time, able to get a lot done damage-wise, setting Serket up for an easy kill, in fact. And back over in the soul lane. Yep, there's a little bit more damage. There's a little bit more bullying. And Hercules is actually reaching deep into the enemy jungle just to keep checking for buffs to steal.
Big Man Ting's getting a little bit pressured on, rotated on by Perpetuum. They were looking to find another kill. Didn't quite find that one. Right. So, game state as it is. What do Angry Pikachus need to focus on for the next 5 or so minutes? They need to make sure that they can get their Fenrir into the game. How do they do that, Motion? No, stop laughing at him! Stop
I'm not laughing at him, it's just funny. I mean, right now, their big focus is going to be this dual lane where Shablanke is, unfortunately, all alone, left to deal with quite a bit of pressure. But actually, Serket Ultimate is able to secure the kill onto Shablanke. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight is going to continue. Fenrir does come in with the Ragnarok under tower. That's going to be Revel going in a desperate spot, but unfortunately, Capri Ultimate doing Capri Ultimate things. And I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. Why are you laughing?
No. I'm laughing at him because he's like, dude, you've been killing me all day. I'm gonna grab you and I'm gonna bring you back here. And then Capri's like, nope.
Yeah, pretty much. But the only way I can see Fenrir getting back into the game right now is, first of all, farming. Just literally clearing out the wave, going into his lane, doing as much as he can there. Possibly looking for a tower push, especially if he gets a couple of wards going, so he knows exactly where Hercules is at any given moment. But outside of those few things, I think he's not going to get a lot of kill potential. He's just not tanky enough to last using Ragnarok around a host of members from Perpetuum. And in general, he's just not in a high enough damaging state, in my opinion, to honestly suggest that he can burst them down instantly before his tankiness becomes an issue. So it's a whole host of issues that there's only a few select answers for, and all of which are under the assumption he doesn't get killed anymore by Revel, which one of the benefits he does have is that Revel has to clear wave. He's got Mystical Mail proc, so by nature, if he's standing near the wave, it's going to eventually reach tower for Fenrir, and he can get XP and gold. Eventually.
It might take 5 minutes for that to happen. Anyway, Lace, so something I'd like to point out as well is that this is where players make a name for themselves. When they're behind, Smite is one of the most brutal games at trying to play from behind. Pikachu's going to take up to the sky and looking for something on the left-hand side. Will it be Jurgius? Will it be TK? What are they going to try and do? Revel with the TP over here. They're going to try and go in. Pikachu goes deep on the backside, still looking for something. Revel's in trouble. Pikachu as well. Last breath up, ticking away. Not quite able to secure him. Look at Revel. Revel's still half health. He's still ticking. Down comes the boulder. Bushy picks up a stack, and this might start to turn things.
Oh, but the only person left alive on the out of the people still straggling was Mantings, who kind of was isolated out. Fenrir TP'd extreme. Why did you TP? Just take the tower. Just take the tower. What are you doing?
Everyone watching, I apologize for our constant snickering at Lace. He played a phenomenal game earlier. This game, he's just stuck in a really poor matchup, and we're not. This is the nature of the matchup, and we're laughing so poorly at it, and he knows it, and he's actually doing, for me, he's doing a phenomenal job. He's stopped the dying at 3 kills.
I'm happy with that. I'm not happy with that TP, I'm gonna be honest. Because the fight was already over. Basically what I was saying, the fight was already over, everything was already settled and done. Now he's trying to make something out of it with the Gold Fury, but this is a very risky Gold Fury just because anything could happen here, and Angry Pikachus do secure it, so that's good. They did get something out of that rotation, and in fact, they might get a little bit more as damage comes out onto Angry Day QQ. Khepri Ultimate is on him, so Ket, last breath onto the Janus, who's forced to use the portal out to see if he can survive, and is able to do so. However, the Bushy, not so lucky, he's going to be taken out by Ho Yi. Isis, double stun ball, he's going to set up a kill onto Sylvanas at the very least, as Thor was able to escape. And no, Janus using the portal to make sure that Big Man Tings can't survive. The slow is going to ensure that Hercules cannot chase any further. That Ragnarok is on the backside. He actually got the kill.
God.
Can he escape? The question beats use. He's going to use the jump. Brutalize is sure to follow up here soon, getting him closer and closer back to his safe zone of solo lane. And yeah, he's going to be able to escape. So getting a kill. What are you turning back for?
Lace, don't go that way. Don't go that way. There may be a bug, but you, sir, cannot squish it.
Alright, so he is able to get a kill, which is very good for him. He was able, I think, to maybe get 1 assist. No, not so much. But that is going to be something to assist a lot in terms of getting him more relevant in this game. So good job by Lace there. Good job by the Angry Pieces in general, getting that Gold Fury, sending their gold lead and experience lead actually in the positive.
Revel with the driving strike against the wall, dumps some damage on a Pikachu, picks out that kill, looking for Spirit Ball, not going to find it. They do get the pluck, but it's into the wall. Crucially, Big Man Tings to escape on the back of that.
So now all the men of Angry Pikachus are going to try and escape there as Janus forces the portal at a bit of an awkward angle and still able to escape nonetheless. Mid Harpies are going over towards Perpetuum and just a bit of an awkward reset for a lot of these guys. Fenrir doing Fenrir things. Yes, take that tower. Yes, good job. Lace!
Good job.
Lace able to take the second tier 1 tower of the game. In fact, actually, that's been one of the biggest issues for Perpetuum, is that even though they've won a lot of these fights and had a lot of good instances under their belt, they never actually put a lot of pressure onto the soul lane tower. You look at it, it's still in pretty good health.
Yeah, because Revel wasn't shoving the wave in. He was trying to deny the gold away. And what's Lace like? Well, he's like, okay. Look at him as well. He's actually brought the gold lead back by 500. He was out over 1,000, right, behind his opponent. He's now back into that 500 margin. He's doing really, really well. Now, what did they say about great players and good players? Great players find a way to get back into the game from behind. Smite is so brutal at keeping you out of the game. Take a look at the left-hand side of things. Bushy's looking for a kill with the ultimate as well. Vastrical's in trouble. Dirgius, they're looking for the disengage. They're going to get it. Big Man Tings on the rotate. Lace is going to get knocked out of his base at this point. And Revel's just like, I got a big hammer, mate. Okay, slams it a couple times in the back of his head. Giannis with the ultimate looking to rotate.
He wants it. He wants it so bad, but over in the duo lane, I think what's wanted more is Angry Pikachus want the fight onto the members of Perpetuum. Hercules not able to rotate over anytime soon. In fact, I think he might be looking for a TP opportunity. Janus, oh, they are able to separate the Khepri, and he's going to fall there. No revival ultimate available. Fenrir makes his way over into the duo lane, and now the damage is coming out. Separated fight, and unfortunately Isis is left behind by the rest of her team. Houyi and Serket are looking for a way to get back into it as Hercules is trying to use some of that CC to help out, but mitigate wounds is not going to be able to mitigate all that, and Fenrir is doing a huge amount of damage over to Houyi, who is forced to leave. Poison darts, hits just barely, and no, Thor's not going to be able to land the Berserker Barrage onto the running Serket. That's going to be the tier 2 tower going over to Angry Pikachus, and Fenrir making wonderful strides of contribution after having a horrible first start.
He's inside 200 gold behind now. Okay, what do I think is the problem for the Hercules? Yotune's route. Yeah, sure, you're ahead, but you do such high base amounts of damage just purely with the shoes. What's the Yotune's going to do? You're coming on the tail end of fights. You need to... I think the Mail of Renewal probably needed to be second, or a Stone of Gaia for that ticking regen. Why? Because you need to be with your team. Fenrir can't sit in the right-hand side of the map and assist his team. Pick one. You've sat over on the right-hand side of the map, you haven't been able to kill him. Okay, so now you need to group with your team, but you haven't built the items to do that. That's where he's being caught. That's the misplay coming from his side. Whereas you look at Lace, he's been rotating. He's been getting himself in the game. His teleport, yes, it wasn't to be a part of the fight. Revel's wasn't all that much either, but he made the Gold Fury off the back of that. That is the difference between good and great players.
A little bit of a double tap onto the Serket, taking a little bit of damage. Khepri way off on his own there, but is that going to be punished is the question. It looks like it very well will be. Shablanka using Darkest of Nights, and now a lot of damage coming through. Khepri able to get the tick from his ultimate as Isis uses Circ Protection on the 3 members. Oh my goodness, that 3-man stun from the Pikachu is going to set up a continuation of this fight in favor of Angry Pikachus, who are still on the chase.
Revel's in a lot of trouble right now. He's going to fall down to Daza, picking that one up for himself. Now, what can they do on the back of this Perpetuum? 3 members, one of them incredibly low, forced to run away, but their carries survive. They're 3 big damage dealers. Now, with the rejoin, they can go over towards the Fire Giant, and that seems to be the case. Ward coverage coming out, and Angry Pikachus, they want a piece of this one. Maybe they are indeed the angriest of Thundershock rats.
Oh, but it was just a bait. They want to go ahead and go for the fight now. They've already ignored the Fire Giant. Oh my goodness! That through space and time just decimated the members of Perpetuum. Only one person on the side of Angry Pikachu's dying, that being Thor, but the main damage dealers are still alive and ready to go. They might be able to burn this down before Khepri and Serket get there, but they have to go ahead and burst a lot of damage into Serket already in the mix. Are they going to be able to stop her? All the damage dealers have left the Fire Giant. It's at 10% health just about. They need to go ahead and decide on what they're going to do here. Otherwise, they're going to lose this Fire Giant. It's still ticking down, and Perpetuum take the Fire Giant after a bunch of indecisive plays from Angry Pikachus. Very unfortunate for them, but can they get the revenge kill is the question. The pull from Sylvanas into the knockup. Ragnarok is going to run out of time. Meanwhile, Revo is able to find a kill onto Drazzer, and Fenrir not able to get anything done just yet, but Shablanka raining down the damage as he always does. Lays being awarded with the kill, however. Revo using the mitigate wounds to try and survive. Tiki able to get the kill on the Big Man Tiggs, and actually Revo is able to find the kill on the Lace, who just was not expecting the region that came out from the Hercules stuns into Naka, and that is a death.
Wow! Perpetuum! from nowhere. Thor's going to take this guy. He wants to secure something up. Don't do it. Do not take the bait. Pikachu slams down, looking for Tiki. Takes the hammer right out, but isn't the hammer trained to safety? Oh, the Ricochet not quite finding him. They're still looking for the disengage. Pikachu's on the run. Will manage to get out here. And wow, 4 members left alive for Perpetuum. It's the flip side of that for Angry Pikachus. They've got the 1 member alive. A 4-for-1 trade. Fire Giant picked up, Mid-Tower picked up, and Perpetuum, they're in this game and they're not quite done. Pikachu was in a little bit of trouble. They're going to take the Gold Fury, and they might get this Mid-Tower.
You know, it was really bad play by the guys on the Angry Pikachus, but hold on. They might be able to find something on Revel, who actually is stuck under the tower. Is going to be taken out by Drazer, and that's a bit more burst damage coming out into the ice. Is forced to use the beads, but she should still die here. But Angry Pikachus, very indecisive on the Fire Giant call. They started it, they were half on it, none of the main damage dealers were staying on it, and they just kind of ended up losing it, and a lot of players because they were so like divided in their call.
Ultimate's coming out again. Durgius is in a lot of trouble. He's got the Scarab's Blessing. He's still trying to get out of here with that ultimate ticking. He's really low now. No ultimate left for him. No revive, no shield, no nothing. Daza completes that one up, but now look at Laze. The big wolf is chasing down on towards Tiki in the mid lane, and suddenly the game again, it takes another turn on a knife edge, and whilst we might have been laughing about the wolf before, he's got a mystical mail, he's got his Jotun's Wrath, heavy hammer as well. He is in this game.
Yeah, he's in this game, and not only that, but he's also making big impacts. Now he's becoming that CC monster that nobody wants to deal with. However, unfortunately for Angry Pikachus, there's no objective for them to take. Fire Giant gone, Gold Fury gone, most of the towers gone. The only tower remaining that they could even try and pull off is going to be the one over on the right side of the map. And that one's a little hard to take just because there are still a couple of members of Perpetuum that still have the Fire Giant, and one of which is going to ensure the death of Drazer, is he got a little bit too greedy in trying to steal a buff.
Yeah, don't steal a buff, don't hang around, don't overstay. I think that's the crucial factor of this match. Don't overstay. Because they're overstaying, they're overshoving in the mid lane for Perpetuum, and they almost paid a huge price for it. If they'd lost a Phoenix there, they would have totally regretted that. They lost a lot of characters, they lost a lot of members, they lost a lot of pressure for a few seconds, but now they're back on the map, and they're looking to make their presence. So Cat is the only member with that Fire Giant left on. Beast Force for Pikachu, they were looking at him, looking at the engage. But now Perpetuum, with a snowball on the right hand side, they're setting it up through the jungle as well.
Now we see the grouping, and under tower is going to be Angry Pikachu just chilling out. But all 5 members of Perpetuum are going to start this fight up. With Thor going up into the air, he's going to come down and land onto nobody actually. As Circle Protection is going to come out, and that fight is looking very poor for Angry Pikachus initially, but they were able to find the Circuit kill at the very least. They just need a little bit more. Hercules is going to have the Kepri ultimate ticking onto him, and it is going to proc. And now they have to deal with a half-health Hercules with mitigate wounds, but they already got the kill on Adurgius, and Shablanke just keeps raining down the bolas that are landing a lot of damage.
This is a 2v3 right now. They got the stuns on Obushi. A lot of damage poked out that way. Vastrical still half health. Lace is going deep for it. Great Aegis to come through. Lace is in trouble. It's going to be Vastrical to slam down on him, but now he's in a 1v2. He's in a lot of trouble. If he can win this one out somehow, someway, he's not going to be able to do it. Beats is out of the portal, still trying to do damage, but it's split between 2 targets. He ends up trading. It's 1 member left standing on the entire map. We almost saw a double deicide there. That's how close that fight was. So back and forth, so deep the initial dive from Perpetuum, and then a great turnaround because I was watching in that. Reveal, pop, mitigate wounds, gets Kepri ulted, jumps back to that quarter health point, then keeps healing.
That's actually pretty annoying. But, I mean, it was just funny watching the AD carry versus AD carry Janus. It's always hard as a Janus to land that unstable vortex right in front of them when they're just kind of juking around AD carry style.
But, man, this game, I didn't expect this game to be going this far. Right, let's turn our attention back to the builds. Well, at this point, our AD carries are virtually level, pretty much level, yeah. But take a look in the mid lane build department. Booker Thoth, pretty standard for any mid lane character at this point in time. Obsidian Shard from the Janus, not tagging a lot of abilities, doesn't really need the spear. Chronos Pendant's always a phenomenal pickup. Divine Ruin. They're worried about the healing coming through from the Giannis. They're worried about the healing from the Xbalanque. Needed. Fine, that's okay. Spear of the Mages, and then a Gem of Isolation online for Isis. She's looking to be a lot of utility, but also high damage. Really like this build.
Now everyone's grouping around the Fire Giant, which is spawning up. The main focus for Perpetuum has to be the Xbalanque. He's been kind of the main factor. In fact, he was the only factor after their last fight left on the map. But on the other side of the map, Janus getting the red buff so he can have that bit of burst damage for his team and himself once this fight breaks out, because it is going to happen. This Fire Giant could easily decide the game. It's still a lot of towers left for Angry Pikachu, so if they lose this Fire Giant, probably not the end for them. But on the other hand, Perpetuum, they lose it, that could easily turn into the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's still such a significant amount of structures. Dirgius was looking for that engage, still looking for the Solar Flares, trying to catch out something. Isis is a mile away from the team, so they've got to be wary of that at this point in time. But Lace just based. He's got TP. If they get a ward in the right spot, he can split push, and that'll be super effective for them. But looking for the engage, Big Man Tings gets plucked.
And they're still going up into the air after the knockup from Sylvanas. Who's he going to land onto? Nobody just yet. Shaquette's looking like a pretty tasty treat, but it looks like the Bushy is actually going to be taken out, and that's their main damage dealer already gone. And this is already a lost fight for the guys on Angry Pikachu. So separated from each other, there's really no way they can get anything done. OE Ultimate comes out, but again, just nothing left to follow up on. Meanwhile, Lace on the backside becoming the MVP for the team as he's setting up kills left and right for his teammates, and is just going to jump back down on. Certain Protections gets a lot done for the Isis, but it's not going to be enough as Unstable Vortex is going to finish off Angry Day QQ. Actually, no, it's just a portal, and we're back to the same state of the game. 2 kills for...
the pluck once again. Reevil's got one. It was Daza that's dropping a lot of damage on towards him. He's got to be super careful, looking for the dash through. Great portal out to the right-hand side. Big Man Tings is now the threat. Turn back around. Focus out Daza. He should be your target. It's getting a little bit of sustain coming through from Big Man Tings and the Wisp, looking for the ricochet, not landing and forced to disengage on the left-hand side of things. Perpetuum running now. They're running through space and time. Look at the health bar burn. Fastrical's in trouble, but here's Dirgius.
Dirgius is coming in. He's trying to make sure his team gets out just fine. And Xbalanque is now back into the fight. Sylvanas using the ultimate to set up the kill. And Reevil is... Yep, that's going to be the Poison Tick setting up the kill. Gold Fury looking like a tasty snack for the guys on Angry Pikachu. It's not going to matter as much per se, but still a couple of items that they could be getting right now. So the Bushy might go ahead and start that objective up. No, he's actually going to elect to just do the mid Harpies on the left side of the map and the wave.
They might be heading towards this furious Fire Giant on the right-hand side of things, trying to get over. Here is the roster of Perpetuum. There's a 30-second death timer on the Hercules. They've got to shove out the left-hand lane. That's where Vastrical is right now. He's a long way from this fight. If they enter, they do it a 3v5, and that's so risky. Thor's in the air.
Thor's looking for the stun to come out onto anybody who stops the Fire Giant. And this time, Angry Pikachu is actually going to secure the Fire Giant as opposed to last time. Isis throwing the stun ball out onto Sylvanas, actually doing quite a bit of damage, and there's not really going to be much initiation tools left for the guys on the side of Angry Pikachu's, but they might have caught out the Khepri. No, he's going to be able to walk out just fine. So they're just going to settle, take this last remaining tower on the side of Perpetuum. No more towers available to the guys of Perpetuum. Now they have all their team members up and available. Can the members of Angry Pikachu's find a way to pull out the enemy team and potentially get some kills?
I don't think they can fight on a Phoenix. I think you're correct there. I think they need to bait them, pull them out somehow. Look at the member rotations coming through, though. They'll blink in, they get the Scarab's Blessing. The Giannis ultimate through space and time's been burned. Also, down went the last breath on towards Daza. He's still half health, though. He's still alive. He's not going to be picked off, and they're going to get a Gold Fury as well. Really nice pickups coming through from Angry Pikachu's. This is enough to finish off any remaining build slots.
Yeah, and on top of that, they set themselves up for a 10k gold lead as well as a 7k experience lead. Also, I mean, obviously it's not as impactful of the experience lead. The only people that are still not level 20 are the supports. Small advantage in favor of Savants, but the gold lead is still very relevant considering some of these builds aren't finished on the side of Perpetuum. A couple people haven't even started their last item. For example, Isis still hasn't gotten started with her last item. Hercules finished his build, but Hercules was also extremely ahead at the beginning stage of the game, so no surprises there. But Ragnarok going to be popped, trying to catch out this Khepri, who actually has beads.
Yeah, starting to come in though is Lace. They get some plucks. They get a lot of damage off onto Dirges. He's got the ultimate, so the poison darts won't pick him off this time around through space and time. Not going to snipe anyone off. Vasterkral's in trouble. Forced to jump back out and over the wall. Everyone's starting to tag that level 20 point as well, the last few members. But Revel looking for engage. He's really been poked out already just from Iana's Unstable Vortex. And this Phoenix, it's under fire.
Yeah, with the Phoenix being not defended properly, that's just going to be a kill on the Phoenix.
Jumping in. That's what they're trying to look for in the backline. Lace, though, has been grabbed up. First kill of the fight is going to go the way of Angry Pikachus. What can they... Sorry, Angry Pikachus are going to lose one member to start this fight off. They might catch Bushy. Bushy's in trouble. Forces the beats. Did hit a Spirit Ball on towards him, but he's half health, and he's still looking to run away from this one. Managing that quite well, but now the focus on towards Daza. Gets a nice portal out of there, and they're looking to run for their lives, the Angry Pikachus, because Perpetuum are in pursuit.
Yeah, they still have Fire Giant and quite a few members of Angry Pikachu. They don't need to go all in and look for a fight that's not necessary. So just go ahead, retreat, regroup, get readjusted, come back at it. You got a Phoenix. That's more than worth, even though you lost your Fenrir. Not a bad day losing the Fenrir. He's died plenty of times early on in the game. He's okay with it by now. I think he's become tolerant to the idea of death.
Dude, yeah, let's not return to what Lace was like in the laning phase. It was not his laning phase.
Yeah, no. So they're gonna make their way over to the duo lane with one side completely pushed up from Fire Mains. They want to take this opportunity and push up the opposite side and potentially get that Phoenix if they get enough pressure over there. Still a lot of members of Perpetuum over on the right side of the map. They want to try and clear out this jungle while the push is going strong. If the guys on Angry Pikachus are able to sniff this out, they might be able to just aggressively get this Phoenix, and I think they did spot it. Not sure if they had wards over there that may have spotted it, and I think, yes, they did actually. So now they're getting there as fast as possible to try and take this Phoenix. Unfortunately for them, it's a little bit of a close distance between the well and, oh my goodness, Thor comes in out of nowhere.
Yeah, he landed on the back line on 3. Look at Angry Dad QQ. He's in so much trouble. Did get a really nice Aegis off. Scarab's Blessing was on top of him as well. Tiki is forced to run away. They're really trying to do what they can. They get Bushy. They get Bushy in the base. What was he doing back there? That is absolute suicide, but it's suicide for Phoenix. Now they've got to chase out from Perpetuum. They're really looking at Pikachu. He's done a lot of damage this game thus far. They're getting on towards him. Can they kill him off? Great Aegis. Did he get the Aegis off? No, it's not going to really matter as Tiki's going to finally kill him off. It's now a 3v5, but this is 2 Phoenixes down, and Perpetuum might be in trouble.
Yeah, Perpetuum is 2 Phoenixes down. They did get a good swing play, but unfortunately for them, it's just not going to matter enough after you lose another Phoenix, and both of which were in succession just about, so they're going to have close timers. Fire Giant is coming up soon, so that is going to be another issue stacked on top of the fact that they don't have those Phoenixes. So now they have to worry about these lanes, and on top of that, they have to worry about this Fire Giant that has just respawned. If they lose this Fire Giant, it's easy to say that they're going to lose the game.
Yeah, well, now pushing down the mid lane, Perpetuum are like, well, we've got to take an advantage with this timer. They've got 20 seconds on Pikachu. Bushy is literally about to come up. Ragnarok goes on a Tiki, immediately beats it off, but they get off Big Man Tings. Tanky member, tanky frontline, and he's gone. Angry Pikachus have got to play this carefully.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose too many people. Savannah's being taken out already is such a huge loss for them just because now they don't have that CC machine for the Fire Giant fight if they have one. So they're going to want to just kind of slow this out, be very cautious these next couple moments until they have their full 5. And then they're going to just go for the Fire Giant fight while the Phoenixes are down. That's all you have to do if you're Angry Pikachus. That's the goal. Perpetuum, they like the idea of always keeping at least one member of the enemy team dead. If you can find something, that's good. And I think Angry Pikachus might be discussing the potential idea of just going for the Titan kill. They might be. Because there's sentry wards all up the left side of the map. They're definitely thinking about it.
Well, thinking about it or not, unfortunately Perpetuum are going to get that left-hand side Phoenix. Right-hand side on this side of the minimap for us if you're looking at things that way as we are. I'd really like to see Reval TPing into this fight, but he also needs to be frontline. They're so caught. Fire Giant now down to half health, and they've got to get in here quickly from Perpetuum. Thor taken to the sky. Is this about to be it? Daza gets down. Perpetuum got the gold furry Fire Giant once again, and look at the back line. It's all over for Daza. Ragnarok, but it's only grabbed up Tiki in a team fight that they cannot win. They stand to lose everything. Pikachu's in trouble as well, all the way up in the mid lane. But now look at how deep the Tiki wants to go. He wants to get into this back line. Daza's gone. Daza's out of this. Keep that in the back of your mind. Pikachu still trying to base. Bushy is in a lot of trouble if they get all over him, and I think they do. Angry take QQ to secure that one up. Surrender vote goes up because Perpetua might win it here. Minions streaming down the right-hand side. Look at all those fire archers in the right-hand lane.
Oh my goodness, and that might actually be the game if Pikachu dies there. Yep, he is gonna fall. Sylvanas just trying to distract the attention. Oh, yep.
Oh my god. No! 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 This is one game I did not want to get that stasis mode 3 minutes out from the end. Holy cow, what the hell happened in that map? Perpetuum! A second Fire Giant steal at such a clutch moment in the map. At such a important standing point for them to move forward.
Okay, so we did just get word from the admins. Unfortunately, you won't get to see exactly how it happened, but Perpetuum does win. So there you go. Smite Game Client has screwed everyone out of that nice little victory run.
I'm speechless.
Oh, even worse news.
I'm absolutely
even worse news.
Speechless.
Would you like to get the worst news?
Yeah, Perpetuum, first off, congratulations, you won game number 1. Guess what? You win game number 2. It's a forfeit from Angry Pikachus. You can see Lace over in the chat. He's saying, internet issues, really, really bad. We got second place. We're happy with that. We're comfortable. We're through to the next round. Let's take it. Let's walk away. Let's not give away any secrets. And I like that strategy as much as we want to see another game.
I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to be greedy.
I don't blame you for being greedy either.
Like, if you have a cool strat, you can show us. You know, don't worry. There's no VODs. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know, come on. Just pull out that super secret strat. No, I understand. It's a very good logic from a team standpoint, saying, okay, if we're having issues to the point where we don't feel like we're going to gain anything further by winning this particular week, then we can just move forward. And, you know, to be fair, I mean, they secured second place, shooting them up to, what, I think 4th in the seeding list. We'll have to look through all the actual numbers of who moved up and by how much, but I believe they shot up quite a substantial amount having second place, and that, of course, is not a bad spot to be. I mean, that brings you well above where your former spot was at 8th place. Yeah, 8th place, and then Team Perpetuum is even going to jump up a huge amount by themselves. So I think both teams are pretty happy with where they are right now, and I think that conserving a couple of your strategies until you feel like you need to use them is a very respectable decision from either team, because at that point you still have something to hold on to once we get to the round robin stage and once we get to the literal final stages.
Okay, let's do some math here. Perpetuum knocked out Team Bazaar today in the round of 8. They get 10 points. Let's jump back over to the scores. Prior to today, Bazaar 147, go to 157. Perpetuum eclipsed them, barely sneaking away 3rd spot and setting themselves up for a group with VWS Gaming. And that's all I can confirm at this point until the math is finished. But they sneak themselves into 3rd spot, 165 points, by 8 points. By 8 points. What happens to Angry Pikachus here? They grab 60 points up to 114, so they do not cap out on Losing Road. Losing Road are still ahead of them. So that's 4th and 5th are locked in. Team Bazaar should hold on to 4th spot. Losing Road should hold on to 5th spot. The Puppies should hold on to 6th. No, the Puppies will lose out one, and they will drop down to 7th spot. Angry Pikachus will slot in at 7th, and Team Illusion should slot in at 8th. I think is how things should go down.
Okay, so securing themselves fifth position, whereas the team that actually got the most benefit was Perpetuum, going all the way up to third.
Hang on, Poppies finished 3rd, so they get 40 points up to 125. So Angry Pikachus come in 6th.
Lord WizKid coming through. Let's see here.
Stop making me do math on stream. Right, so did I nail it? I did. Angry Pikachus do move ahead of the Puppies by 4 points. By 4 points! This is what it come down to, right? 1st and 2nd. VWS jumped over Team Instinct to finish 1st at 285 to 260 from Team Instinct. Perpetuum, we just said, slotted into 3rd at 165. Team Bazaar, 157. Losing Road next, 130. This is the biggest gap between two teams in a long while, right? 130. Next, Angry Pikachu's 114. The Puppies 110. Team Illusion 65. So Team Illusion only scored 65 points, and they made it all the way through to the round robin stages. You guys out there in chat, get yourselves a team together, start practicing now, and summer split next year, you damn well could be in the SPL if you play your Challenger Cup cards right.
I mean that's the dream basically, is to go ahead and say, hey guys, I think we're good enough to play together, and then to just take that and move forward, practice as a team, not get discouraged from that first tournament loss, or this, that, and the other happening, because it happens. I mean, that's the nature of developing a team. You just got to know each other. You just got started really practicing together. You're not going to be as good as a team that's been doing that for, say, 4 months and been developing. Is this to say that you can't plateau as a team? No, that's not the case. But the point is that a lot of teams nowadays get stuck in the mentality of, okay, if we lose one game, we're obviously not meant to be a team together. Or if we lose 2 games, no, that's a defeatist mentality. Go ahead, practice. Play in some tournaments, give it a month or 2, and then just see how it goes, and then keep it up, because I mean that's essentially how you test out the grounds for a team. And I think that there's a lot of potential talent out there in the EU scene as well as the NA scene and every scene really. So go ahead, give it your best shot, see if you can't make it to the next Challenger Series or even just local tournaments, and go from there.
Well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it from us here today. It was one hell of a game to finish us off on. One absolute cracker of a game to finish this off. And if you want more games like that, this isn't done. There's 3 more weeks of the Challenger Cup kicking us off with the round robin for the next 2 weeks, starting next weekend. Saturday is going to be, of course, your NA. Sunday, once again, your EU Challenger Cup. Shadow Boy, it has been an absolute pleasure to watch some of these games today.
It has. I've enjoyed our nice crack ups. I'm still accepting your ticket to the Zeus hype train. Don't worry, I've reserved it. And
if I show up at the SWC and you don't have myself a Zeus hype train ticket, I am going to be sorely disappointed.
Don't challenge me on that one. it'll be pretty. It will be a pretty little ticket with the Zeus hype train on it, and the train will be the train will legit be like a lightning bolt train. Do not challenge me on that. I will have your ticket.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately that brings us to the end of the open bracket for the Fall EU Challenger Cup. Like I said, if you want to get your team together and start practicing, do so. You won't be able to enter the Challenger Cup, though, right through until the spring split gets itself underway. Now, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, it is going to be time to say it, but before we do so, don't forget to head on over to Twitter. @TierMonster is going to be the tag for TierMonster. @Ranconius. Myself, Shadowboy, is @Shadowboy Gaming. He's a weirdo. We know. We told him. He didn't change it. I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do. But also, don't forget to show back up here next weekend, the weekend after, and the weekend after that to finalize out your Challenger Cup standings. It might be the final week of SPL, but that's not the final week for us. So, without further ado, it is time to say it from all of us here at Tier Monster and the Fall EU Challengers Cup. Bye for now, not forever, and we'll see you next time right here on Smite Games.